All right, what's going on, y'all? This is Payso here. Just want to speak about this Rock Nation, Jay-Z, NFL partnership. Just give a couple of thoughts I have on it. One, we always know Hov has been a huge advocate for social justice, criminal justice reform, social change, and all kinds of things for African Americans and people that are less fortunate than others in the world we live in, and that's always been a great thing. I for one deeply appreciate the work he's done. He's a person that lives it and just doesn't talk it. He actually shows through actions and not words, and that's great, and I salute him for that. But I do have some question marks regarding this NFL partnership that his company that he founded, Rock Nation, has. And it starts with one, Colin Kaepernick not being involved. Now, we all know Colin Kaepernick has been a driving force for, a lot of social change within the NFL ranks, both inside and outside the league. And it all started with him kneeling during the national anthem singing, which, silently protesting started a lot of discussion and talk amongst not just the league but sports period. And there have been a lot of things being said in terms of him being blackballed from the league because of it, him not being in the NFL for him having a stance against police brutality, and African Americans being so unjustly treated by our criminal justice system here in America. And it's very interesting to see Jay-Z, who also has been a big voice and a big person of leadership alongside Colin Kaepernick in terms of them sharing a common goal, which obviously is criminal justice reform and change. And the first thought that came to my mind when I read the agreement was, is Colin Kaepernick a part of this? And if he isn't, why not? And then, as more details have surfaced today, I now learned that he isn't a part of it. And even going a bit further ahead, his own girlfriend has tweeted today that, despite numerous reports that suggested and said this, that Colin didn't have a conversation with Jay-Z, Rock Nation, or the NFL prior to this agreement being announced, which is very questionable for so many reasons. I mean, why wouldn't you want the guy who basically sparked and spearheaded everything that led up to this a part of, if you're calling it, change? Why wouldn't you want him a part of that? Why wouldn't you grab him and say, hey, or even go to Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, and say, hey, this guy has to be a part of this. Like, this probably wouldn't even be possible, even be talked about if it wasn't for this guy. I just don't get that part of it. Like I said, in hindsight, I salute Hov and Rock Nation for what they're trying to do and what they're attempting. And honestly, I feel like they're going to do a phenomenal job at being them voices of moderation, voices of change, and voices for those that need to be spoken for in terms of speaking out for what's right and what's wrong, especially amongst and against African Americans. But at the same time, it's a bit hypocritical, in my personal opinion. This is no disrespect to Jay and Rock Nation, but it's a bit hypocritical to not have this man, in terms of Colin Kaepernick, to not have him involved in such a riveting and in such a powerful partnership that could honestly change a lot of things in sports, entertainment, and in the social realm, especially for African Americans. I mean, the NFL is, the last time I checked anyway, is a dominantly African American league. The players, the top players in the league are dominantly African American. And a lot of things that went on in terms of the after effects from Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and silently protesting against criminal justice reform against for black people. I don't know, man. It's just odd to see publicly to see his girlfriend come out and say, you know, he did not speak with them. They did not talk with him. They did not advise him. They did not bring him into the discussions even before this all came about. And when Jay-Z was asked about it, I believe in a press conference today, he said, well, that's up to Colin Kaepernick. I'm not his boss, or something of the sort, something of that nature. I don't want to quote it directly, but it was something of that nature when asked if Colin Kaepernick was going to be a part of it. And that answer to me was a bit puzzling, because, you know, a man in Jay's position, I would think that he would go to Colin directly and say, yo, listen, this is what I'm about to do with the NFL. Roger Goodell is on board. The league is on board. And I need you to be a part of this with me. And to see that that's not the case, I don't know, man. It's definitely a big questioning in my mind. Like, I get it, you know, I get Jay is somebody that's just gonna go out there. He wants to get the work done, and I get that. But, you know, where do we unify at? Where do we say, listen, our foot is down, we're with this man, and if he's not down, we're not down? Like, where does that point come in at? And that's really all I'm trying to get to, and that's what I'm trying to truly understand. You know, once again, I'm on the outside looking in, so I'm just asking questions and giving my thoughts just like everybody else is. But at the same time, you know, the facts are the facts, and it's like, to see any sort of social justice reform, change, or whatever kind of program you want to call a partnership we have with the NFL, to see that and not have such a vocal figure as Colin Kaepernick a part of it, I don't know, man. It's a bit questionable. You know, this is still developing. It's still ongoing. It's very early in the game, so we'll see how things come about. Hopefully at some point he does get on board. Colin Kaepernick is still not in the NFL, which I also thought was a little bit, the timing on that, it was a little bit questionable, being that this man is still not in the NFL. He just put out a tweet, I believe, a few days ago, saying he's been working, he's been ready, he's still prepared to be a very helpful piece to any team's puzzle. And, you know, it's so many question marks with this, and I'm hoping within the next coming days, months, that we get some answers. But my personal opinion is Colin Kaepernick needs to be a part of this. And yeah, man, so that's it, man. Well, that's my 2 cents nobody asked for. I'll catch y'all on the next one.